Good evening, everyone. I would like to call our regular board meeting to order at 7:30. We are located in the Village Chambers, 2350 South 25th Avenue. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalabi?
Here.
Trustee Senior?
Here.
Mayor Thompson?
Here.
Trustee Shelby?
Here.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, we do have a quorum. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we please have a moment of silence? And now I'll read the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Now, item 2, public comment. Madam President, I have not received anything at this point. Have you received anything? Okay, thank you. Please let the record reflect that 7:31, Trustee Abraham arrived to the meeting. For the record, bringing us to item 3, communications. I have a couple of things here. Okay, everyone, please help us welcome the new law firm in town. It's a grand opening on September 23rd, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Golden Law, located at 2121 Roosevelt Road, Broadview, Illinois. Come and welcome them to the neighborhood. Next, let's talk about the opioid crisis forum. This forum will happen right here at Broadview Village Hall, 2350 South 25th Avenue in Broadview on September 9th. That's tomorrow evening, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's sponsored by Cook County Commissioner Frank Aguilar of the 16th District and Mayor Katrina Thompson of Broadview. Winter is coming. The senior snow removal program will be happening once again, and in order to register, we do have applications available here at Village Hall. Mayor, I believe they do go out in the newsletter that's either out or coming up. Is that correct? The application for the seniors?
It's been mailed to all the seniors.
Yep. They were mailed to all the seniors, and if you have any questions or need assistance, please contact Village Hall here at 708-681-3600. Speak to Miss Lily Sierra. Next, the 4th annual Tour de Proviso, happening October 7th, 2023, at Mayfair Park. This is in Westchester. Westchester is hosting this year. Saturday, October 7th, 10835 Wakefield Street in Westchester. Check-in is at 7:30 a.m. We kick off the ride at 8 a.m. and at 9:30 a.m. there's a community expo. You can find out more information if you contact, I guess you can contact the clerk's office. I've got this flyer and this QR code if you're interested. And I urge everyone, please register for the Tour de Proviso. This is going to be the biggest one yet. So we want to see everybody from Broadview that can register and has a bike, come on out and show unity in our community. And then finally, Bellwood School District 88, I have a letter to read, and this is directed to Mayor Thompson, addressed to Mayor Thompson. It says, "Dear Mayor Thompson, I hope this letter finds you in good health and high spirits. On behalf of all the students and families in Bellwood School District 88, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the Village of Broadview for your support towards our annual Back to School Bash. This year's bash was held Saturday, August 19, 2023. It was a resounding success. It was a joy to see the smiles on the faces of students as they received their new backpacks filled with school supplies. With your support and the support of donors like you, we distributed backpacks to over 1,000 students, served over 1,500 meals, and were able to provide the community with valuable resources in a safe and fun environment. Your Your contribution represents a commitment to the students of our district and solidifies your organization's dedication to their education and well-being. We are grateful to have you as a partner in our mission. Once again, thank you for your generous donation to our Back to School Bash. Together, we are making a positive difference in the lives of our community. We look forward to your continued support in our future endeavors. Sincerely, Dr. Victoria Hanson, Superintendent, District 88. All right. Mayor Thompson, that concludes our communication. Next on the agenda is item 4, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from our August 14th, 2023 regular board meeting.
Motion to approve. I second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Chalmalave, seconded by Trustee Shelby, Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions about the
Madam
minutes?
Mayor.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustees Armour and Miller are absent. Madam President, this carries 4-0. Next item, 5. Consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $663,601.88 for the period ending 8/30/2023.
Motion to approve. I second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Chalmalave. Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Trustee Shelby, the Finance Chairwoman, will you please read the warrant list for August 30th, 2023?
Yes. Okay. The vendors are AT&T, $3,342.78. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, $147,747.69. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, $388,796.46. Comcast Business, $3,812.77. David Ormsby Incorporated, $3,000. Delgado Law Group LLC, $9,267.50. Eco Clean Maintenance Incorporated, $2,504. Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated, $29,218.25. Leads Online LLC, $3,081.00. Lincoln National Life Insurance, $6,151.89. Mecca Tree Service Incorporated, $2,500. Mid-American Water, $7,171.78. Paramedic Billing Services Incorporated, $16,578.55. T&T Towing and Recovery Incorporated, $4,000. The total of expenditures over $2,500 came to $627,172.67, which is 95% of our total expenditures in the amount of $663,601.88. We had some manual payments. The vendor, Bellwood School District 88, the date was August the 14th, 2023. The check number was 85035 in the amount of $250. We also had a manual payment for Proviso Township District 209. The date of the check was August the 25th, 2023. Check number 85036 in the amount of $500, which total manual checks came to $750. Okay, the accounts that were affected by these funds were the general fund in the amount of $255,515.60. We had the garbage fund in the amount of $1,320. The motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $965.29. And the water and sewage fund in the amount of $405,800.99, again for a grand total of $663,601.88. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions about August 30th warrant list?
No.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller? Mr. Clerk?
Yes, Madam President, please let the record reflect at 7:37 PM, trustee Miller arrived to the meeting. I'll take a roll call to approve the expenditures. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Abstain.
And Madam President, this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $237,348.98 for the period ending September 13th, 2023.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Chalmalave, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Trustee Shelby, Finance Chairwoman, will you please read the warrant list from September 7, 2023,
Okay, I have.
or the 13th?
Oh, okay. The vendors are ComEd for $3,218.57. The commercial tire service, $3,934.82. Cook County Government, $25,000. Edwin Hancock Engineering, $12,196. Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated, $55,701.95. Loyola EMS, $2,623.20. Mid-American Water, $5,534.25. SBC Waste Solutions, $46,653.44. STP Transport, $4,850. Straub Corporation, $20,000. West Central Municipal Conference, $10,502.90. West Cook County Solid Waste Agency, $12,908.11. The total of expenditures over $2,500 was $203,123.24, which is 86% of our total expenditures in the amount of $237,348.98. We had some couple of manual payments. The vendors were Best of Proviso Township. The date was September the 6th, 2023, check number 85097, and the amount of $500. Masters Irrigation Company, date September the 7th, 2023, check number 85098, in the amount of $3,935. The total manual checks came to $4,435. We also had an electronic payment. The vendors was Chase credit card payments, reflecting as of August the 25th, 2023, in the amount of $8,228.12. The accounts that were affected by these expenditures, these funds, is the general fund in the amount of $101,363.51. The garbage fund in the amount of $59,561.55. The motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $3,295.26. We have the Roosevelt Road TIF fund in the amount of $30,500, and the Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $1,240, the Water and Sewage Fund in the amount of $41,388.66, again for a grand total of $237,348.98. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions about the warrant list from
No, none.
trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Abstain.
Madam President, this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next item. Item 7, village officer reports, which are given at each second meeting of the month. We'll start with the Building Department, Commissioner David Upshaw.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, residents.
Good evening.
The August 2023 building report is on file with the Mayor's office and the clerk office. If you have any questions, I'll entertain them, but I just wanted to cover some of the highlight, some of the major projects that are currently going on in the Village of Broadview. Over the last, say maybe a year and a half, we've seen a tremendous amount of growth, and we're seeing a lot of businesses come to Broadview as well as existing businesses expand their space. Housing Forward, which will be located at 1014 through 1020 Roosevelt Road, their project is underway. I don't know if you've seen the training facility that we have at the Iron Workers, which is located at 2525 South Lexington. You can see it from the expressway, at the initial iron work. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful project. Helios 2550, their cultivation facility, they're in phase 2 of their project. And we finally did receive some civil plans from Chick-fil-A, which will be located in our mall. And lastly, Vanny, they are in the process of submitting plans for their addition. Right now, if you go down on 25th, you'll see a big gap between several buildings. That's a building, they own that actual building, and they did do the demo on it, and it's almost complete. And that's at 2759 South 25th Avenue. At this time, I'll entertain any questions that you may have, Board.
Thank you. Trustee Miller, you have any questions?
No.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? No question. Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner
Thank you.
Upshaw.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Finance Department, Finance Director Tom Hood.
Good evening, Board, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
My report is on file. You guys should have received it. We're about a third of the way through. One of the things I wanted to point out is if you look at each department's budget, they're all less than 33%. So everybody's right on course. Revenue's coming in a little behind, but that's primarily to Cook County's delay in sending out our tax bills. The other thing that I wanted to bring up were on tonight's agenda, you will see a couple of entries related to our TIFs. Specifically, the one that's asking to transfer funds is the accumulation of everything we've been doing with Roosevelt and 17th Avenue North. Now that it's being folded into one new TIF, we're going to take the funds that are related to the project that's in Roosevelt, move them to the new TIF, and that way we'll be able to close the other two TIFs, and it'll reduce the number of TIFs down to only 2. Also, thank you all for attending the Finance Committee meeting that came. It was pretty straightforward, and I'm able to address any questions that might have come from that meeting. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Director Hood. Trustee Miller, you have any questions for the Finance Director?
No.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No question.
Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
No.
Thank you, Director Hood.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Fire Department, Acting Chief Matt Martin.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Board of Trustees, everyone in attendance tonight.
Good evening.
The Fire Department report is on file with the Mayor's office and the Clerk's office. I'll entertain any questions. Just a couple highlights on the report. Our emergency calls are fairly status quo where they should be at this time in relation to where they were last year. Starting to pick up a little bit more as we get into this month. The training hours have gone up quite a bit, which is a great thing to see, and it's a testament to our firefighters as they seem much more invigorated and energetic in their training, which means that they are bettering themselves and developing themselves, and I'm very proud to see that. It's a testament to them and their commitment to the community, and I just want to praise them for that. Their energy in between calls is impressive, and I just want to thank them for their commitment to everyone in this community. With that said, I'll entertain any other questions you might have about my report.
Thank you. Trustee Miller, you have any questions for Chief Martin?
No.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No question.
Trustee Senior?
Questions?
Trustee Abraham?
Just tell them thank you.
Thank you.
Being prepared all the time for our
Thank you.
community.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I will
Chief
do that.
Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Police Department, Chief Thomas Mills.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good
trustees, residents, everyone in attendance, as well as the police department's report is on file, as well as I've attached updates that we receive from Cook County State's Attorney's Office monthly. They're always a month behind, and this particular month, the State's Attorney Kim Fox sent out her milestone package that I attached for your review, just kind of give you an understanding what's been going on in her office. Basically, same thing, our cost for service is basically 2% increase, 3.2% decrease in overall cost for service in Ike to include Broadview and Maywood. We had a entrance exam for new officers. We had a really good turnout of 25 who took the test, and we have 13 who has made the cut on both the written and oral. So we haven't had those numbers since I've been here, and I tell you, it was amazing to see the people that turned out, and there's a lot of women on the list as well, so they are definitely joining the ranks of law enforcement. I think it's more women than men this time, so you may see more women out here riding around in the patrol cars. We just had a recruit graduate from our Law Enforcement Academy, so he's in his FTO training, and we have a new lieutenant in Clayton who's running our investigations as well as our other various functions that he offers to us. At this time, if you all have any questions.
Thank you, Chief Mills. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? None. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
Just tell your department, thank you. I walk my dog late at night, and so does a lot of other people in my community, or if they're biking or walking, but it's good to see them drive around, especially when it's after that 9 o'clock hour, 10 o'clock hour, that we can still be outside. So tell them thank you for
I would
doing
definitely
that.
share the message. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief Mills. Before you
you.
leave, I get a lot of calls regarding public safety, like our crime stats. Can you give us some highlights of where we are with the stats?
Yes, so Broadview, right now, our biggest crime right now is retail theft and auto thefts. And auto thefts are nationwide, of course. Retail thefts is our mall area. And I'm gonna have to be honest with you, a lot of the issues that we have is that a lot of businesses do not want to prosecute. Walgreens, notorious, we go there 4 or 5 times a day. I've met with management. We catch people and they don't show up to court, but we still have that obligation. We will continue to enforce the laws. Same thing, Target, who used to be pro enforcement, they have actually kind of scaled back. They won't allow their security to detain anyone. They will call and make the reports, and we go as fast as we can to get there and provide the best service we can, but that's kind of where we are. So if you see on the report that I shared, for the month of July, we actually only called in 3 felonies. One was for aggravated assault to a police officer, that was approved. Retail theft, which we also got approved, and unlawful use of weapons. So overall, just to give a shout out to the officers. They're out here, they're constantly riding around trying to provide the best service, but like I said, as it pertains here to Broadview, a lot of it is that the businesses now are just not fulfilling their obligations to come to court. For a while, court was kind of shut down, everything was done by Zoom, but now Maybrook has opened back up, and a lot of people just hesitant to go. So they will call, they make the reports, even sign a complaint, but when it comes down to the prosecution of it all, they do not show up. So that's kind of where we are. We're very blessed to not have a large-scale narcotics issues or violent crime. You heard in Maywood last night, they're dealing with a very horrific incident and some shootings, even in Bellwood, and we share mutual aid with them, so our officers are constantly going over to help them, and they do help us as well. But we're very lucky here in Broadview. So
Thank you, Chief, for that
Thank you,
update.
Chief.
And make sure your team make it home at the end of their shift,
yes, ma'am.
or
Thank
do
you.
your best.
Thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you.
Next,
All right.
Public Works Department Director Matt Ames. I didn't see Director Ames.
No, I don't know, Ms. Jones, did you?
He was out there with the water issue.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll come back if possible. Next, we have the Administrative Department, Village Administrator Letisa Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, and residents, and all in attendance. My report is on file with the mayor's office and also the clerk's office. Just a couple highlights. I first want to thank the mayor and all of the department heads. We have formed, as far as the village, a mental health committee. So where we are reaching out in order to educate our entire staff here, all of our 5 departments, so police, fire, public works, administration, finance, and also the clerk's office. And this just came to us as far as a village from our fire department. So I want to thank Acting Chief Martin and also Firefighter Stevens. So the biggest thing was of how do we connect all of our staff in order to make sure that everybody knows that we care when it comes to the Village of Broadview and that mental health is real. So it's not only in the police department or the fire department, it's throughout our whole entire village. And then what we want to do, and we'll have more information next month on my report, is to reach out to the community as well. Because we understand that we have to take mental health serious. It's not just about what department or where you work. It's making sure that we know how to handle those that are going through mental health. So I thank you, Mayor, and I thank you, department heads, for partnering with me on that. Lastly, our rep stats of where I'm excited, because once again, take the trophy. And the question that was at hand was, can I view my water bill online? And where I told the residents of the Village of Broadview is that we're working on that. So of where, if they don't see that, right now, all they can see is the amount of their water bill, but we're working in order to change that so they can see the actual bill. So at this time, if anybody wanted to have a copy of the bill, whether it's emailed to them, faxed to them, or they can pick it up on hand, on the 15th of the month, it's available to them after 12 noon. So we've put that out there so that all the residents know. I did do a call on rep, a video, just to show them. So more videos are coming up now that we're going into our fall season. And then just so you know, when it came to other topics, 51% just wanted to know, okay, how does this rep communicate with the community? 27% public works, their concerns in public works, and then 11% was building. So it is working. We have residents that are viewing it. We had a total of 804 who viewed every page of it, so all of our postings that we had on there, so that's big for us. And so we do know that it is working, and that we do have residents that reach out to us that give us questions so that all department heads and their staff have the opportunity in order to answer those questions. So I do thank you, Mayor and trustees, for giving me the opportunity to use rep to its fullest capacity. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Administrator Jones. Trustee Miller, you have any questions or
No.
comments? Trustee Shelton?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? No questions. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Jones, before you leave the podium, I do want to say that, last year, I believe, the leadership team took a training for mental health, how to interact with adults and youth, because we work with a lot of youth. And so this is like phase number 2, where we start to do more formal training with our staff with the task force. So I'm happy that you've taken the lead on this as the village administrator and getting the buy-in from the staff and creating the staff, because we believe in a healthy workplace, and it starts with leadership. So I want to give kudos to all of those that's in leadership to, they all appointed someone to be on the task force to represent their department, and that's a big deal. And then the next thing that we're going to be doing on the leadership side is we're going to start doing the training on Dare to Lead training for the leadership. And that is going to encompass us knowing how to troubleshoot the hard conversations. And we deal with a lot of hard conversations as it relates to the workplace and the staff. So that's going to be coming online shortly. So I just appreciate all of you all, trusting the village, the board, to initiate these programs to make us all wholesome. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, trustee.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next, item 8, old business. We have none. Item 9, new business, starting with A. A proclamation honoring Mrs. Rachel Ginger Vikas, Huh?
Wakis.
Wakis, I'm sorry, thank you, Mayor, who recently turned 100 years old. All right. Was there a proclamation?
So,
to be
yeah,
read?
so this proclamation does not require a board approval, but I will read the proclamation for purposes of it, a matter of record. So the proclamation is, whereas Mrs. Rachel Ginger Wakis has been an integral part of the fabric of the Village of Broadview community for over 7 decades, and whereas born on August 29, 1923, on a farm in Iowa, she has celebrated a century of life, wisdom, and experiences, and whereas her service in the Navy during World War II not only showcased her dedication to our great nation, but also led to her meeting with a distinguished Marine, eventually her husband, Peter Wakis, and father to her children. And whereas after the war, her journey of love and family began in Chicago and continued as she moved with family to Broadview in 1953, making it her cherished home. And whereas, as a dedicated employee at R.H. Donnelly in Oak Brook, she contributed significantly to the economy and workforce. And whereas Rachel Wakis, known affectionately as Ginger, is a testament to resilience, love, and legacy. As a mother to Carrie, Michael, and grandmother to 5, a great-grandmother to 4, and a great-great-grandmother to 1, her family legacy thrives and prospers. And whereas celebrating a centennial birthday is a remarkable milestone deserving recognition, admiration, and tribute. Now, therefore, I, Katrina Thompson, Mayor of the Village of Broadview, on behalf of its citizens, representatives, do hereby proclaim August 29, 2023 as Rachel Ginger Wakis Day in the Village of Broadview and encourage all residents to join me in recognizing and celebrating the immense contribution and enduring legacy of Mrs. Rachel Ginger Wakis. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Village of Broadview to be affixed on this August 27, 2023. Katrina Thompson, Mayor of the Village of Broadview. So we did recognize her on August 27th. Her birthday was actually August 29th. She is the first resident that I've known to be in the Village of Broadview that has lived 100 years old, and she's been in the village 70 of those years. So she moved here as a young woman, and she made this her home, her life, and her contributions. I mean, talking to her family, they talked about how she, up until the pandemic, she was still walking to Target store, you know, still moving around. And those that attended, I know Chief Mills and Chief Martin was there today that we went to honor her. She's very sharp and witty. So she's still in her right mind, still giving orders, literally. But she's doing very well, so we're honored to say happy birthday to our very own Ginger. All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Item B is a proclamation regarding National Rail Safety Week.
So this is another proclamation that does not require board action, but it is Rail Safety Week this week, and we do have CNM Rail within our community, so it's appropriate for us to recognize this. So the proclamation reads, whereas Rail Safety Week is to be held across the U.S. from September 18th to September 18th to the 24th, 2023, whereas 2,194 rail-grade crossing collisions result in 803 personal injuries, and we're responsible for 274 fatalities in the United States during 2022. And whereas 1,208 pedestrian trespassing casualties have occurred in the United States, resulting in 658 pedestrians being killed and another 550 injured while trespassing on railroad property rights away during 2022. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad right-of-ways are private property, enhancing public awareness of dangers associated with highway, rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railroads, and obeying established traffic laws will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incidents involving trains and citizens. And whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesavers, United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, county, and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations commit to partnering together in effort to educate at a national level all aspects of railroad safety to enforce applicable laws in support of National Railroad Safety Week. Therefore, I, Katrina Thompson, Village President of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, do hereby attest my full support proclaiming September 18th to September 24, 2023, National Railroad Safety Week, and I encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of railroad safety education. I will add to this, we had a conversation with Congressman Davis when he was doing his tour in the community, and this came up for discussion at that. And we talked about the sound of the horns and, you know, inappropriate times of the night. So some of the residents is going to help me lobby to change that, to get that in place for us so that it's not a nuisance to our community with the horns and how we look at other communities that set up like Broadview, but they don't blow horns. So the horn, they have a horn right away that we have to honor, but we are working really hard to change that and make sure that CNL Railroad are in compliance with how we live, work, and play in Broadview, but understanding that the rail safety is very important. Also, we do have children that go to Lindop that have to cross over that railroad because they live on the other side of Cermak, and they have to cross that railroad to get to school. So we want to make sure that our schools are educating the children on railroad safety. Our police department is, reiterating the safety of the railroad during the crossing time. So I don't think the train runs during school hours. It did once upon a time. But we still have to keep that in mind because young children will go behind, not the crossings, but they'll go behind the fence and play and not understanding. The train may look like it's moving slow, but it really is not. And so education is a big part of railroad, and we are a partner with Railroad Safety Week but because we do have railroad in our community, and we have to honor and respect that. So, Mr. Clerk?
All right, thank you, Mayor. Next is item C, motion to approve the 2021 audit.
Motion to approve.
I second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Shelby. Madam President.
Thank you. So last week, we held a finance committee meeting just to discuss the fiscal year 2021 audit. And we got delayed because of COVID. Staff at the audit firm was having some staffing issues, getting people in, doing Zoom calls, trying to meet all the requirements that's conducted by the audit. So I'm going to ask Director Hood to tell us what the outcome of the audit was. We discussed it at our Finance Committee meeting, but I think it's important to reiterate where we are with the numbers and what that looked like. I also want to highlight before Director Hood take the podium is that when you look at some of the controls in place, so they recommended that we put internal controls in place. If you read the audit, we have already put those controls in place, but because it's 2021, they still have to put those, put the statement as it relates to the controls that they want us to have, but we've already done that. So Director Hood.
Yes, thank you. The big one is the general fund's budget to actuals. We came in about $750,000 surplus. So that was a great accomplishment, and it was for many reasons. One being our department heads came in basically even. It was $150,000 less than we budgeted in spending, but from a budget standpoint, if you're 1 or 2% over or under, you're pretty much even. And then the big surprise was the huge increase in revenues that we had during 21. Part of it is related to sales tax, and that has a little bit to do with, I know you guys probably heard this on the news, but there was a case in South Dakota where the state won, and now all of the internet sales are going to the local taxing people. So that accounts for quite a bit of the increase. The other places were the fire departments implemented, it's called GMED, and I don't recall what that stands for. Do you know, Matt?
The ground emergency medical transport.
Okay. Ground emergency medical transport, the Social Security Administration is now paying more if you do the correct paperwork. And our fire department has figured out how to do it, and we are getting more per each trip that we take that is charged to basically to the government. And then the last area was our share of the state revenues that are shared with us, personal property taxes, state income taxes, and a third one, which escapes my mind, were all much higher than expected. So that's great for the village, great for the general fund. Overall for the village, our standing improved by 1.3 million from fiscal 20 to fiscal 21. Yes, that's correct. So that just means we're continuing the trend to improve our finances. Now, when you look at that number, it's a large negative number. But the reason that negative number exists is basically years ago. We're going back 20, 30 years when they didn't make the appropriate pension payments. It's dug a hole. So between our fire, police pension, and our OPEB, which is other pension benefits that we pay, there's over $30 million in arrears on that. But when you take that out of the ending balance, we actually are showing a positive balance for the village. So we are doing the things that we can at this point to put the village in a better position, and we are waiting for the appropriate moment to try to address those pension issues that are really holding us back or it hides how well we're really doing is what it does. Are there any other questions?
Trustee
Are there any
Miller?
questions?
So while we are currently approving 2021, what's the status on 2022?
2022 begins in November. 2023, we're shooting for March, and we want to be on the normal schedule by next June.
Okay, thank you.
That's it? Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalabi? No questions. Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Abraham?
None.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, we'll take a roll call, please. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalabi.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item D, a resolution of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, appointing David Scalise to the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So the reason for the change on the Broadview Westchester Water Agency, Trustee Senior, who formerly held the seat, is unable to fulfill the duties that we require on the agency, so it was appropriate for me to appoint Dave Scalise, who's our water operator for the Village of Broadview, to be on that board, to interact with the superintendent at the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, so that's what this resolution is about. Trustee Miller, you have any questions?
No.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalabi? Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalabi.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next item, E, a resolution authorizing and approving expenses related to attendance at the West Central Municipal Conference, Municipal Law Symposium, Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C. for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. So this is a resolution to approve for me to travel to Washington, D.C. on behalf of the Village of Broadview representing the West Central Municipal Conference. As the current sitting president, this will probably be the last time that I go to Washington, D.C. as it relates to the Law Symposium. The total cost is $1,858.98. $450 is for registration, $1,127.04 is for hotel accommodation, and airfare is $281.95. Trustee Miller, you have any questions or comments?
No question.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalabi?
No question.
Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalabi.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item F, a resolution authorizing and approving a certain agreement with REPT for the creation and use of a civic engagement platform for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior. Who was the second?
Trustee Shelby.
Trustee Shelby seconded. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, you want to tell us about the approval of the service agreement for RUP?
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. This service agreement is for 1 year. We did do a pilot, and that's where we did it just to look at it for 2 months, just to see how we can work it as far as a village. And we've been getting outstanding reviews. We did put it to our awesome attorney just to make sure that all the legalities were taken care of. And this contract, this agreement is in our favor, just so you all know.
And what's the total cost of the, for the contract?
So the total contract is 1,500. Sorry.
I'm just scrolling down, I'll find it in 1 second.
I don't want to misquote. Isn't it 13.5?
Sorry, I'm just trying to,
Page 10 says 1,500.
Which
750
page?
for,
1,500?
yes, page 10 of their document says 750 for the remainder of August, and then 1,500 for each month thereafter.
Right, but for the entire year,
You
it
guys
should
can
be on
put
there.
the total on the title. So, total, just gave the monthly breakdown for a year.
the annual cost, if it's 1,500 a year, would be 18,000, was my math right there?
Yep.
Yeah, 18,000 for annual cost, total annual cost, but that doesn't back out the half a month that we are, so it's 18,000 less
And
than
for-
750, 17,250 would be left
And we
by
paid the
my
15
rough
too.
calculation. And thank you, trustee.
Yeah, we paid the 15 and the 750 already.
So what's the total amount of the contract that you're asking us to approve?
17,250.
17,250.
Okay, and this was budgeted for in your budget?
In my budget, yes.
Okay. Trustee Miller, you have any questions?
While I understand the engagement that has happened with it, it seems like the questions are kind of just generic, right? So when you're answering, I haven't watched any of the videos, so I'll just say that. But when you're answering, is there an opportunity for engagement after that response to that particular question?
Yes. They can always send us back if they don't understand it, and then we respond back to it. And of where we have the technology now of where we send it out village-wide. So the biggest thing that's coming up now is our tour de proviso, of where we're gonna send a full blast email out to everybody, letting them know what does this consist of. So if anybody has questions, we can keep the dialogue open back and forth. And it doesn't matter which employee that does it.
Okay.
So it's not just centered around just like the administration office.
Right. So I think maybe how I posed that was a little different, but what I'm saying is, so when you're answering a question and the engagement is there, are you keeping track of the original and then the follow-up
Yes.
responses? So, okay. I didn't see
Yeah,
any data
everything is
behind
tracked.
that,
We
so-
have the numbers, and it keeps it coded on how many people view it, what are the questions that we have, how many people, who's the person that answered the question. We get the email address so we can go back directly to that person, but they will see it.
Okay, so without disclosing residential information, I'm not one for knowing anybody's personal information. Can you share us, with us, the board, a report of at least the last couple months of the kind
The
of
numbers.
engagement that's happened? Thank you. That's it.
That's it, thank you. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? No questions. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk?
Yes, roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Next, item G, a resolution accepting a certain grant from and approving an agreement with the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, related to the composting and food waste reduction for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. So, trustees, you may recall that we've had this conversation as it relates to the USD food waste composting grant that we received on behalf of the C4 communities. We received a $300,000 grant to move forward, and this grant will impact 3 communities, Broadview, Bellwood, and Maywood. And we just need to formalize the agreement in with USDA, the federal government. So that's what this is. Trustee Miller, you have any questions?
No, no question.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No question.
Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And the Scaries, 5-0. Thank you all. Next item, H. A resolution accepting and approving an agreement with 7 Generations Ahead, a non-for-profit corporation, for certain services related to the USDA composting and food waste reduction grant for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. So this is a follow-up to the grant. We would like to bring in 7 Generations. They are the experts with food composting. They have done several food composting programs with the local schools. So this USDA grant will impact not only municipalities, but our local school districts. So it's District 92, which is Lindop, District 88, which is Bellwood, and District 89, which is Melrose Park, District 89, which is Melrose Park, Maywood, and Broadview school districts. And the consultants will be responsible for everything that they need to do to impact this. And I'm trying to see what the cost is for his, with this contract, because the grant would pay for the services provided to 7 Generations.
Mayor, the cost is provided on page 214 of the agenda packet, and it states that from 2023 to 2024, specifically May
I see it.
2023 to April 2024, $6,341 for 12 months totaling $76,092. And for the following year, for the same period, May to April of 24 to 25, $76,092.
Thank you. So this particular grant for the services, the total amount is $152,184, which will be paid out of the grant. Trustee Miller, you have any questions or comments?
So just for clarity, half of the payment pretty much is going to go to this organization, and then what?
And then the rest is to buy materials and supplies for the compost, and that's required.
So all they're doing is basically providing consulting services?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave? Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
No question.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item I, a resolution authorizing the transfer of tax increment financing funds from one redevelopment project area for eligible costs in a contiguous redevelopment project area for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, second by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. Director Hood, you want to tell us about this transfer?
Yes, this is the transfer I referred to earlier. Currently, until we formed the new Roosevelt 17th Avenue TIF district, there were 2 TIF districts, the Roosevelt TIF district and the 17th Avenue North. Now, the guys that have been around for a while have seen what we've done from 17th to 25th. It's called a streetscape project. The same thing has been planned from 17th down down to 9th, going east on Roosevelt. We just have not had the total funds to do it yet. We have, though, banked quite a bit of money in anticipation of that happening, and what we're doing is creating a new TIF that releases the Roosevelt to the west, where we've done most of our work, and keeping that eastern portion in there. And the purpose of moving this money is to have that money in that TIF, so when we can do the project, we'll still have the money to do it. Are there any questions?
Trustee Miller?
What is the, I guess, purpose of making it a consolidated TIF versus leaving it separately? Like, what impact does that have?
The main factor driving this was the Roosevelt TIF was established back in, I believe it was 2020, and it will expire. If it expired and we did nothing, the money would be rebated.
Okay.
And what we don't want to do is lose the opportunity to get this work done going the other way, because it's not a small project and it's quite a bit of money to redo the streetscape. So we knew that that was going to happen. And on top of that, the 17th Avenue North TIF district was created at the height of the real estate boom. And when everything crashed, all the assessed valuation in that whole district fell below the frozen valuation. And it hasn't generated any money in a decade. So this is a chance for us to reset those property values at that lower amount, so that as things increase, it'll generate some TIF funds too, which will help us not only do this project, but help us bring businesses into the corridor. And we all know that the more businesses, the better for the village. Hopefully we'll bring in something that generates sales tax and employs people. But that's the whole idea behind it. The reason we did the new TIF is one of the TIFs was expiring, the other TIF was not making any money. We combined, made a new TIF, released Roosevelt, and reset the valuations in the area that the old TIF was in, so that it will generate money in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr.
Thank
Clerk?
you.
Roll call, trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior,
Yes.
trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour is absent, trustee Miller,
Yes.
and this carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, item J, a resolution authorizing and approving a certain proposal with train controls related to certain upgrades needed to the Broadview Firehouse Air Handling Unit controls for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
I second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Shelby. Madam President?
Thank you. Chief Martin, will you tell us about the train project you got?
Yes, Madam Mayor. In an effort to continue our enhancement of upgrading the building for both energy efficiency and reliability, this is the next phase in our request to enhance to upgrade the controls, the internal controls for the building automation system. So this will be all of the controls that take care of the living quarters, where the current system will be completely removed, and this new system will be put in place. It will be a completely upgraded system, something similar to what we have here in Village Hall. It will be automated. It will have alarm routing. It will have site security. It will provide additional alarms, notify myself, other members, if there are failures, if there are any issues, so that we can make sure that we are having a reliable system, but also it allows us to zone our controls so that we're not running all the time, 24/7. Right now, we can't do that. So this will allow us to set up, give us that ability to set that up so that certain areas can be turned down or turned up so that our energy efficiency is increased.
Thank you. Trustee Miller, you have any questions or comments?
So just confirming, the price on this is the $30,760.
Yes.
That's completely all in for everything, or is that just what they're anticipating for a budget, and it might go up or down?
No, this is the total price from Train for everything that is listed here, including training for staff to understand how this system works and be notified.
Okay, thank you. So just for clarity, I'm asking a ton of questions tonight about stuff because I don't work on weekends, so I didn't really look at the packet until today, so that's why I'm kind of asking, but
Sure.
I don't want you guys to think I'm just picking on y'all.
Thank you,
That's it, I'm sorry.
Trustee Shelby,
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalade,
No question.
Trustee Senior,
No questions.
Trustee Abraham.
None.
Thank you, Chief Martin.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
Trustee Senior,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent, Trustee Miller,
Yes.
and this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item K, a resolution authorizing the village president to enter into a certain memorandum of understanding with Johnson Controls, Inc. to develop a preliminary sustainable infrastructure solutions analysis and presentation at no cost to the village.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you. So as we move forward with our sustainability initiative, I have had the opportunity to meet Calvin Cornish, which is here in the audience tonight, as it relates to our sustainability initiative. So this MOU is a no service charge for us for them to come out and assess the municipal, our village municipal building, the fire department, and public works on environmental initiatives. So like the legislation that you all just approved for Train, I would recommend and give a directive to Chief Martin to work with Johnson Controls if this is passed on how that can make that wholesome before we spend the $30,000. Because it may be some cost savings somewhere. I don't know that until we get it assessed. So the information was in your packet. This is a part of our Carl's Community Climate Collaborative, C4, and our goal is to achieve 45% greenhouse gas emissions reduction by 2030 and 100% by 2025. So we have a way to go, but when we start assessing our own municipal buildings at no cost, I mean, that's a win-win for us in the municipality. It would be attractive for us to do this so that we know exactly what we need to budget for, how we need to impact our own municipal building, whether it's this building, the fire department, or public works. And then hopefully, once we get the assessment, they can partner with our local park district, our schools, and our libraries to do the same thing as it relates to the government entities. Trustee Miller, you have any questions?
So I'm glad that you're scouting out ways for us to kind of trim down on what we're spending. My only question is, if we're not paying for the service, how is Johnson Control being reimbursed for their service?
So in the MOU, it clearly say that it's no charge for them to conduct this.
I understand what the MOU stated. That wasn't my question. My question was, nobody gives free service. So since he's here, can he give us the information?
You wanna come
on
to the
how
podium?
They are actually paid.
Good evening.
So to address your question, the memorandum of understanding at that phase, we are incurring some costs, and we're providing kind of an initial level assessment, right? Once we move past that phase, the board has an opportunity to decide if they want to engage in any further kind of due diligence and engineering to spec out any projects, at which point then we would be discussing whether there would be any financial commitment. So at this phase, we're not doing any of the work. What you're getting for free is really just a few hours of our site assessment, which really you would expect from anybody, right? How can we tell you what you might be able to do without looking at the buildings first? So but there is a commitment, right? A time commitment, and there's a value to that. That's why we have the memorandum of understanding. As opposed to just going out there willy-nilly to whoever would want. We want to make sure that the board knows what we're doing, they know the intent of it, right? And there's at least that minimal amount of engagement that you are willing to commit and have us come out there. And then have us come back. I'll come back at a future meeting and present kind of this first round of results and what the opportunities are.
So, based off of this project prospective timeline, I'm seeing a start date approximately August of 2023 and a completion or project implementation of April. So that's, I don't know how many hours that is for a time frame, but
That's just a tentative sort of complete project timeline. What really would happen is we would come back to the next meeting or so, and as we move forward, we might start talking about what those future dates might look like. But that's just a tentative timeline. You can see in parts of that timeline there are multiple steps at which the board would decide whether they want to continue kind of in the process, or if there's, you know, if we bring you a menu of 10 different items that you could do, right? There's opportunities to say, hey, we want to do some of this, we don't want to do some of that. And obviously, we would be bringing a lot of funding and helping you kind of find federal incentives and things like that to bring to the table for you to consider.
okay, so we're a month in. Has anything already been discussed with goals and objectives? Or are we just kind of behind?
Well, no, the goals and objectives and things are kind of what's spelled out in the MOU as far as, you know, the primary objective, right? We're always looking for sustainability measures that are also going to save money. That's the primary objective, right? And then we move towards laying out a plan so that you can meet those goals, right? The 2030 and the 2050 carbon reduction goals, what's going to go in there. So a major goal is to lay out what those measures are, what you might have to do those things. So there may be some very costly things in there, right, that you may need to do sometime in the next 15 years. So we're kind of laying out what can we do today, what can we do that's going to save money today, what can we do to get money from other sources and really leverage the village's funds in a wise way now, and then laying out a plan for what you'll have to address in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
No, none.
Mr. Clerk? Thank
Roll
you.
call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
No, yes, I'm sorry.
Trustee Armour is absent. Sorry. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Letter L, or item L, a resolution authorizing and approving a Fifth Amendment to the intergovernmental agreement regarding crossing guard services between Lindop School District 92 and the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
Who was the motion?
Trustee Shelby.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Trustee Shelby, seconded by Trustee Senior. Madam President?
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
You ready, Mr. Clerk?
I was sorry, I heard like a...
Okay. So this is not new to us with the intergovernment agreement with the crossing guards with Lindop School. We started this in 2018, and it's on an annual 3 years for 3 years. So Chief Mills, you want to tell us about the intergovernment agreement with Lindop and the crossing guards?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, trustees, and residents again. So as the mayor just stated, this is nothing new. Every summer, Lindop would ask us to try to find a alternate or use the alternate that we have. And Dr. Jackson and her staff reviewed everything, decided they just want to bring on one extra crossing guard as well to help secure the scene around the school. So we're adding an additional crossing guard to this agreement.
Thank you. Trustee Miller, you have any questions or
So,
comments?
how many total crossing guards are there now? And then what changed? Like, is there any financial impact? I see there's kind of, I guess, prices or costs on here, but is any of that payable from the village?
They reimburse the police department, so
Okay.
we do not incur any of those.
So how many do we have now? And then is this total per pricing guard, per cost per crossing guard, or is this a total that is paid to all the crossing guards together?
We'll have a total of 3, and they just added the extra amount to include, because we would have an alternate for sometimes, but in some cases, our crossing guards may miss. So now we're always going to have a full 3 crossing guards on scene if one takes off. We are going to be posting for another alternate, just in case, but Dr. Jackson and Lindop School District wanted 3, so they're just incurring in this MOU to pay that additional amount for that 3rd crossing guard.
So are we paying the additional $8,000, or is it $5,595.84?
Yes, ma'am.
I can speak to that. So the original contract amount that was entered into a couple years ago was $8,000 for the 2 crossing guards. And so this adds a 3rd crossing guard for an additional amount of $5,595.84. So that would come out to a total of $13,594.84.
Okay. And okay, so that kind of seems off for like a calculation to me, and I don't have a calculator to see here, but so $13,000 for 3, and we break that, we'll talk about it later. Never mind. I'm sorry, go ahead. It don't make sense right now.
Okay, trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
Just for clarity, they want 3, correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
And then the 3rd one will be working at the same time as the
Yes.
other 2?
Yes, they will have 3 on site now.
Okay. And then if somebody called off before, when they just had 2, was one of our officers had
Yes.
help? So this will eliminate and our officers helping them with them having the 3, is that their goal?
Yes, I wouldn't say eliminate, just not be utilized as much.
There you go. Sorry about that. Yes. Okay, that was it, I just wanted clarity.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chalmalave,
Abstain.
abstain, trustee Senior,
Yes.
trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour is absent, trustee Miller,
Yes.
and this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next item, M, an ordinance of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, authorizing and approving a tax increment financing redevelopment agreement by and between the Village of Broadview and Uncle Remus SFC4 LLC.
Motion to approve? Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So this is to approve some tax dollars to help renovate the Uncle Remus restaurant. I think it's important that this board support local businesses and initiatives when they redevelop or rehab their space to make it better for the community and for themselves. The total cost of this total project is $290,000. I recommended that the board allocate $100,000 to offset some of the costs for the owner. Ms. Charmaine is here in the audience, but Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this particular project?
Mayor, pretty much you covered it. As the mayor stated, we have Ms. Charmaine Ricketts, who is the proud owner of Uncle Remus, has been in the community for a number of years. And I'm surprised that this did happen sooner, but she is looking to improve her current space, which is located at 1801 Roosevelt Road. Based on the conversation that we had, based on the improvements that she thought she would need, the overall project is close, as the mayor stated, $290,000, give or take, and the village is we're requesting to support her with $100,000, which will allow her to renovate the existing space and improve her business. And I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
So I haven't reviewed this one. What exactly is the amount that's in the current TIF that would support us having $100,000 available? And if it wasn't to be approved, would the business still be able to operate without the reimbursement?
Yes, it's currently the Roosevelt TIF, and there will be enough money in there. I specifically left, when I did the resolution to port the money, we left money in that TIF to cover this cost and some other outstanding costs that we're going to have. And what was the second part of your question?
Well, you didn't really answer my first part.
Okay, well, let's try that again.
How much was available in the TIF to cover it?
The balance is $3.5 million
Okay.
in the TIF right now.
Okay, and then my second part was, if we were to not approve it, would the business still be able to do their renovations and still sustain
Okay.
without
yes.
our approval?
So, to answer your question specifically, the answer would be no. We have met with Uncle Remus, i.e. Ms. Ricketts, over the last 6 to 9 months, and we have gotten to the point where they have sharpened their pencil and came out with the number they needed to renovate the space. And they had initially requested more than that, actually $300 and something thousand, but the village is willing to support her with $100,000.
Okay, thank you.
That's it, Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Abstain.
And this carries 4-0.
Thank
you
you.
all. Next item, N, an ordinance amending Title VII, Chapter 5, Section 7-5-1, to prohibit vehicles measuring 42 feet in length from turning right or left onto certain residential streets from Roosevelt Road and 17th Avenue, to increase the fines and require reimbursement to the village for damage to village property.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Director Ames, you want to tell us about this amendment to the resolution and also give us an update on your Public Works Department report?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As it relates to the ordinance is specific, a requirement for IDOT. Obviously, we have designs into IDOT for the streetscape, particularly the 2100 block of 17th Avenue and 17th Avenue East to 9th Avenue. And part of the prerequisite for the review is that we limit semi-traffic on our local roads, which for the most part, I believe is, again, already codified. And we just want to extend and make sure that some specific streets are named and we increase the fine for any violations, so.
Thank you.
And if I may, it also, in addition to increasing the fines for violations, it now requires reimbursement when somebody damages village property. So you guys already had in your code a prohibition for 42-foot long trucks, semi-trucks essentially, going down residential streets. And now this not only says that they can't go down them, but it also says they can't turn down them. So one of the problems is, you know, some of these turns, or some of these trucks would try to go down these streets, maybe turn around or, you know, do something in these streets and end up destroying the curb cutout and destroying the sidewalk. And IDOT's obviously coming in and making an investment in Broadview, and they want to make sure that their investment is protected. And this, again, it allows the village to now go after and get reimbursement for damage. So,
Thank you, Attorney Jerusik. Trustee Miller, you have any questions or comments?
Do we have any data or instances where we can substantiate how many times this has happened?
I'm sorry, trustee?
Do we have any data that substantiates the number of times we've had to deal with this issue?
No. No. As a matter of fact, it's very rare, quite honestly. This morning, I actually saw a truck make a wrong turn on 13th Avenue trying to get to the other side of the railroad tracks, which is south, obviously, on the other side of the mall. But it's very rare. that we have trucks turned on a residential street. I know we've had a couple incidents where trying to get over to deliver at Loyola Hospital, they've come down 9th Avenue, and along with the assistance of the police, we backed them back out to Roosevelt Road and redirected them. But yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions. I just noticed that, the trucks, they really don't have that much turning space there, but you have traffic coming all directions. And it is a tight little corner there for a big semi to try and turn, so I understand.
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalabi?
No question.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trust-
But I'm glad that it's been implemented, though.
Trustee Abraham?
No truck, yeah, absolutely.
Trustee Abraham?
Just thank you for implementing that, just because of the residential and the safety features at these corners. Thank you.
And the proper signage would be up to...
Absolutely. And the signage is after construction of the project, so. But yeah, they want to know that if nothing else, we have the legislation in place for the consideration of it. And thank you, Attorney Jaworski, for detailing that.
You're welcome.
As it relates to a summary of...
Before you go to your report, Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yeah, we'll take roll call now. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalabi?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all.
Okay, summary report for some of the capital projects, the resurfacing. Concrete removals began today on 12th and 16th Avenue, and we anticipate wrapping up our capital projects sometime in October, at the end of October, right before November. The Village Hall parking lot here, for the most part, is complete, with exception to the landscape. We do know that we've got an RFQ out for the fence installation and I'm sorry? Yes, thank you, Clerk McGreer. And also for the monument entry signs that will be, again, at 25th Avenue, Roosevelt Road, I believe, the entry points of the Village of Broadview. So I will entertain any questions or comments at this time.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalabi? Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
And Director Ames, can you tell us why you were late to the meeting?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was actually giving Maywood Fire Department Captain Scott an update. Maywood has had some issues with their distribution system and an inordinate amount of water main breaks from Friday till, actually, it's ongoing now. So we met with their village manager, met with the engineers to try and offer up as much assistance as possible. And because it is very impactful to their ability to fight fires, it was necessary that we let the fire department know exactly what was going on. And specifically, Captain Scott made it over here to have a conversation before. Actually, I didn't think that I had missed the reporting period. Chief Mills was supposed to come get me. In all seriousness, I do apologize for being out, but that's what kept me out in the parking lot, so.
Well, thank you for helping Maywood out. Just so everyone know, like Director Ames said, over the past couple of days, they've had probably 8 to 11 water main breaks from Friday up until today's date, and some of the water main breaks have been very, very significant. So we're gonna provide service to them to get them through this phase. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, thank you. Next item O, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Patrick's Dog Resort at 1750 Parks Drive to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this business?
Yes, Patrick's Dog Resort is located at 1750 Parks Drive. They are complying with all village code and ordinances. They were issued a temporary business license in the beginning of July.
Thank you. Trustee Miller, you have any questions?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
More questions?
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item P, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Pest Pros Unlimited, doing business as Nelson's Environmental Solutions at 2000 South 25th Avenue to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this one?
Yes, Pest Control Unlimited, doing business as Nelson's Environmental Solutions, will be located at 2000 South 25th Avenue. It will provide construction services, residential rehab, renovation, and roofing, and this particular location is for their administrative offices. They are compliant with all village codes and ordinances.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
So are they providing pest services, pest control services, or construction services?
They are providing construction services. Once upon a time, they used to provide pest control services. Since in the last 2 years, they have converted to a construction company.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes, so are they going to be like, what is the name of their company? Pest Pros Unlimited?
The name of their company is Nelson's Environmental Solutions.
Okay, I see it there. Okay, no questions.
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next item, Q, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Galaxy Holdings, Inc., doing business as Laundry World at 1500 West Roosevelt Road to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this one?
Yes, currently Laundry World is open. They were issued a temporary certificate in the beginning of August. They are located, as the clerk said, 1500 West Roosevelt Road. They are compliant with all village codes and ordinances at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item R, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Wheatfield Fresh LLC at 2700 South 21st Avenue to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this one?
Wheatfield Fresh will be located at 2700 21st Avenue. They are a wholesale bakery supply company. They will be wholesaling supply and distribution of baking supplies throughout the Chicagoland area to retail locations. They are compliant with all village codes and ordinances at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call, trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next, item 10, I almost said item X. Item 10, application for the authority to expend funds. We have none. Bringing us to item 11, village clerk's report. I'll be very brief. I just wanted to inform the board that as of tomorrow, after passing this legislation and processing it and getting it signed by the mayor, I will be submitting all ordinances to our American Legal Publishing for codification. We will then be up to date with codification. Currently, we are 4 ordinances that have not been codified yet due to the last meeting. And then also, we are caught up with FOIAs. I just got to commend the department heads. And I got to be specific with Commissioner Upshaw, Ms. Jones in the Village Administration Department, and also Lieutenant Acom. He's been doing a wonderful job stepping in for Paul Kirshner, who used to handle all of our FOIAs in the police department. He was a better FOIA officer than I was when he was here, but Acom has stepped in and hasn't missed a beat, so we are caught up with all of our FOIAs and in compliance, so I'm happy to announce that. And that completes my report, bringing us to item 12, Village President's Report, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Good evening, everyone, virtual and those that's in attendance. I do want to say the clerk works very hard for us in the Village of Broadview. And during certain cycles, we get hit with like a ton of FOIA requests, and we have limited staff as it relates to the clerk's office, which is separate from the mayor's office. But we work together as a team, so I just want to publicly say thank you for, staying the course and making sure that we crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's. We have no secrets in the Village of Broadview. We're very transparent, and we'll share any information through a FOIA request, so I appreciate your leadership.
Thank you, Mayor.
I do want to recognize that September 15th through October 15th is National Hispanic Heritage Month, and traditionally honors the cultures and contributions of both Hispanic and Latino Americans as we celebrate heritage rooted in all Latin American countries. The celebration is, again, from September 15th to October 15th. The Park District did plan a pop-up small business event for the Hispanic and Latino community, but they only had one person that registered to participate, so therefore they had to cancel the event. But they're not going to stop. They're going to keep doing things to embrace the culture and get the community engaged and involved for recreational activities as it relates to how we celebrate culture in our community. I have requested from TESCA, who's our planning contractor as it relates to our comprehensive plan, so we getting ready to streamline and go right into a comprehensive plan that will take us to the next level in the Village of Broadview. I am waiting for them to add a couple of things to that comprehensive plan that I would like for a discussion because it's a cost involved. And so I asked them to, put in the plan what, to add environmental sustainability, technology as it relates to broadband in the community, health and wellness, and housing. Because in the Village of Broadview, when we look at housing, we are landlocked, so the next tier for us is to only build up, and we have to plan on how we build up to get the right equipment for the fire department as it relates to the fire engines and those types of things for anything more than 3 stories. So in this comprehensive plan, once we get it, I will be bringing it to the board for the board to approve. We will plan some conversations with the community because it's a buy-in for everybody, not just the Board of Trustees or my office, but the community on the residential side, our business stakeholders. We want them to play a role in this, and all of our everybody that impacts the Village of Broadview in this comprehensive plan so that we can get a good document. The last comprehensive plan that we've had in the Village of Broadview was from 2009. And if anybody have access to that document, it don't represent the Village of Broadview. So I don't know how that document got passed by the board because it don't represent who we are today. And so it's time for us to put things in place and then follow up after that to keep, in line with a timeline as it relates to strategic planning on how we get to the next level and looking at our finances on how we able to afford some of the projects that's coming before us to make us better and wholesome because we all live here. Tomorrow, I am co-hosting the opiate forum with Commissioner Aguilar, Cook County Commissioner Aguilar. And we do have an expert panel that's going to be on this. I am encouraging all residents to come be a part of this conversation. We will be streaming this particular forum live because I think it's important that Broadview recognize that we're not exempt from overdoses. We're not exempt on how we care for people in our community that's having an addiction issue and how we overcome that. We have to surround them with love and support. And so this forum is going to give an expert panel, and I'm asking all of the trustees to put it in your schedule to attend it, because it takes all of us, when we're talking about health and wellness, on how we exhibit a good product for Broadview and how we take care of the Village of Broadview. The fire department and the police department, they see a lot of this. And so I'm happy that Chief Mills will be on the panel, Chief Martin will be on the panel, Pastor Harrell will be on the panel. We have David Dew from Habilitative Services that will be on the panel. He does a lot of work around this with a lot of data around it, how we look at how we administer Narcan to the community. Now, it's not just for fire and police to have access to it, but it's for even those that probably live with someone that has an addiction to be able to administer before EMS can get to service that particular person. So I'm encouraging all of you all to be a part of it. We have to be transparent in the conversations that we have, because addiction don't have borders, and it impacts us as well. And we all need to know how we need to interact and how we can provide services to our police department and our fire department. But I want the board to be educated on this as well from a data level, looking at the data and how it impacts us. So that conversation will take place tomorrow here at 6:30. I hope you all come out and participate. And those that can't make it, I hope that you do watch it online. We will stream it so that people can go back and review it for the conversation. Tour day proviso is coming up on October 7th. And this is something that was started in 2020 by me just putting a post on social media, who want to ride? And I didn't know that it was going to take where it is today on this tour, but I'm very pleased on the outcomes of Tour Day Proviso, because we've been put on the radar for CMAP. We've been put on the radar for IDOT to get funding to impact our community as it relates to safe passage on the bike lanes for not just Broadview, but our surrounding communities. This year, the tour would take place in the Village of Westchester. And they added to it. Every year we add something dear. So this is year 4 for us. Every year is something added. So this year they added a Riders Cup. The municipality that has the most registered riders, or the registered folks to come out on October 7th, have a chance of bringing home the trophy. And you know, we're very competitive in the Village of Broadview. So I'm asking everyone to get registered. Even if you don't ride, get registered. Come out and cheer us on. Come out and look at the different small vendors, because what Tour Day Proviso, it provides tourism, and tourism is a destination. And so when we invite people into our communities to visit our local restaurants, our local retail stores, that's growth for us, because we generate in sales tax. So it takes all of us to support that initiative. And some of the local vendors in the Village of Westchester will be out there vending what their goods are in their community, to be able to support the small businesses. So I'm encouraging the board to show up in a big number to represent the Village of Broadview. Make sure that you register to get your free T-shirt. I will not be picking up T-shirts for folks, because you got to register to get the shirt. And so and we're not running it. I'm grateful that we do have a strong partner in this, where I don't have to. It was some things that I had to do to get things done, but I don't have to own like the T-shirts and all of the registration stuff like I've had in the past. We have Best of Proviso that's taking the lead on that. And I thought they were a good fit, because they represent the Proviso Township. And so that's October 7th. We've sent out emails. It's all on social media. It's all over, so you can't miss it. So I hope everyone get encouraged and inspired in the Village of Broadview, and let's represent and bring home the trophy. It would be very sad if Westchester didn't bring home the trophy in their own hometown. So we coming for you, Westchester. I do want to remind the Village Board, as well as the residents, that we've had an awesome summer. We've had an awesome summer. We've been very, very busy in the Village of Broadview this summer, but we are back on our regular 2-month meetings starting October 2nd. So make sure you put that on your calendar. October 2nd is the next regular board meeting for the Village of Broadview, and then the next one is October 16th. I do see Lakeisha here. She's a walker. We walk on Saturday mornings, and when I'm absent, I promise you, she still makes sure that the walkers are going out and getting your exercise. So I just wanted to acknowledge, thank you for being here. Was quite surprised that you showed up tonight. But it's important that we, get the residents involved and engaged, and she still have walkers walking with her, so I'm grateful for that. The Park District is under new leadership. Brian Dawson is no longer the Park District Director. It's Matthew Stiegel is now the Executive Director at the Broadview Park District. So we still want to be very supportive of the leadership change that they have and just help them out however we can. We are in an election cycle, not for a local municipality, but for our Cook County and some of our state government seats. So people will be coming out asking for your support and vote. I would encourage all Broadview residents to ask questions and hold them accountable to your signature and to your vote. I don't recommend who you vote for. I have people that I'm going to be supporting, but it's important that you get engaged in the local elections as it relates to county and state, and it's the season for judges to be reelected too. So make sure you do your due diligence and not rely on second-hand information from others to tell you who you should vote for. You should be doing your own research and then asking those candidates those questions. So with that being said, I just want to say that we've had a very blessed summer, no incidents. Our crime is not what people anticipated to be for the Village of Broadview. Some things we can't control. We can't control retail theft, even though we're trying, and it is what it is. But we've had a really good summer this year. So let's continue just to do the work together, and let's be mindful, and let's just continue to practice love and kindness in everything that we do in the Village of Broadview. And with that being said, I'm calling for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Abraham to adjourn this evening's meeting. I will take a roll call. Trustee Abraham? Yes. Trustee Chalmalabi? Yes. Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And we are hereby adjourned at, what time do you have, ma'am?
9:12.
9:12 p.m. Thank you all for coming, and have a great evening.